I was in a position when an opportunity did come up for to become a grunt and sign the books and out of Local 70 in Virginia, that I was in, I was 3 hours away in North Carolina, and I could be there tomorrow. So is it, it's nice to think about hoping for the fairy tale sort of operation where you go in and it's all laid out for you. Now, maybe at a utility that might be the case. I don't know anything about that, but from my experience, I had to say yes to every opportunity that I could.
Yeah.
And it's landed me where I am now.
100%.
What am I signing the books to do? Like, nobody understands that. When you really have, if you want to dissect that conversation, it takes a while to explain to somebody, like, how exactly do you get in?
Yeah.
But everybody's story is a little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I ask each and every person. I'm so interested in, like, just how they got in, right from how you found the trade to, like, your path and your way in, because I think there's value there for anybody listening, because that's probably the most popular question I've ever been asked on social media in the DMs or whatever, is like, how do you get into this trade? What's the secret?
Yeah.
Like, there's no secret. I ask every guest what their story is, and here, go listen to every one, because each one's different. Try your way.
When you get yourself in a bind on transmission, it takes quite a bit to get out of it. Some improper planning, like, we need to get this equipment in there. Well, we already moved the dozers like 15 miles.
Like a couple D10 cats to get yourself.
Yeah. So we'll take a day and we'll go up there and get those back here. Well, you do that 5 times and you've burnt a week. So, soaking that stuff up from those older generations is not something to be taken lightly.
What does it mean to be a journeyman, and what does it mean to be a journeyman in this craft?
I boil it down to 2 things. You got to have both of them, and that's integrity and craftsmanship. You need to believe in those 2 things, and don't compromise those values for anything.
Explain them.
Do the right thing. Integrity, just the basic definition of integrity. Do the right thing when no one's looking.
100%.
Stick to your work procedures. That's what keeps you safe. And then the craftsmanship. Well, that's good enough. Well, is it?
Yeah. Looks good from my
I can't
house.
See it from my house. Well, yeah. Well, Jesus can see it from his. Yeah. So, like, whatever deity you believe in, like, they can see it. But those are, just keep those 2 things.
I hope that's happening out there. Like, I don't know either. It's been so long since I don't know if apprentices are getting paired with qualified journeymen, and whether I would hope, this would be my hope, that there's journeymen out there assuming that role of master when they're paired with an apprentice, whether it's for a day or for 2 years. They're going, come here, kid. I'm going to take you under my wing. I'm going to spend the extra time with you. I'm going to run you through weights and forces calculations and your off time, just to make sure that you know your stuff, or whatever that would be my hope, that that's happening. Because if that's happening, our trade is safe. Our trade is good. Our craft is in good hands. So I would hope that that's happening.
Like, what really drove you to just keep going? Was it family pressure, or what about the job excited you so much?
It's strange, because I try to figure that out, because I sucked in school. Like, school, I'm learning disabilities. I'm a slow reader. I never even read a book in high school. I faked my way through everything before ChatGPT. Faked my way through everything in school. I just didn't, it's ADD, whatever. Like, I just didn't like it. It didn't like me. But when I got into the trade, it was something that I liked, I enjoyed. So I invested my time in it. I was graduated top apprentice, like, I did very well. I was always on great crews. I always got on, like, the bare hand stuff, the heli stuff, like, whatever I wanted to do, because I worked my ass off to do it, because I loved the the job. I loved doing it. This is what the trade gives you the ability to do, is like, you know, one day I'm in central British Columbia on a 4-wheeler and your phone rings, and the next day you're on the East Coast in Connecticut driving a bucket truck into some property that was built in 18 whatever, you know, like 1700s. Like I'm just like, you flick those little orange lights on your bucket truck, and it's an all access pass in a storm call to just drive wherever you want to drive.
Or do you ever think about when you loosen that bolt, like on a dead end shoe, like who, and it's all, you know, it's rusty and pitted, like who was the last guy to touch this thing?
100%.
You know, or you're climbing up a tower leg, like when was the last time these step bolts were stepped on? Like, and you know, you're up there and you might be refabricating and drilling through steel that some of the stuff that we've worked on out here is well over 100 years old. And you know, our mag drills, like they don't go through it like they do like the new steel that we put up now. Like it's real American steel. Just you get to put your hands on stuff like where we work up now, like up in the mountains here in Northern California. Like, you might be sitting up on a tower top and like looking out over the Sierras and the Cascades, and who was the last guy to sit up here and like take this in,
right?
And
there's
just
nothing
like
better
earlier.
And that's what I mean, like enjoy that for what it is, because it's like it's gone tomorrow. Like it's gone after that. That might be the last time that you're ever on a tower bridge like that, with a view like that, with all the fellas. Right. Like, you know, I just really enjoy those moments because they're not going to always be there.
What I learned from failure is, in a lot of ways, it's a lot more valuable than just, oh yeah, I jumped into it and it worked out, and then it gives you this false sense of security about knowing like, oh, I just figure stuff out, or whatever it is. Like, I believe that giving yourself a chance to fail, or letting yourself get out there is part of the scientific process of figuring shit out. It's like there's definitely room for failing out of position, you know. And I've failed at a lot of them, but I feel like I'm finally starting to come around where I realize that, and it's definitely, when the help is offered, take it.
Yeah.
Like, don't play the pride card and like, oh, we'll get through it, we'll show them, like, because usually that person that's offering you the help has been in those exact same shoes that you're standing in right now, and here, buddy, let me help you out, and it'll be fine. To take help.
Failing truly is learning, so just accept failure. It's not even failure, it's just learn from it. It's learning. If I wasn't a lineman, I would be what? I think I know this one already.
Broke. No, I would be a pilot.
So you'd be broke.
Yeah, I would be. Well, there you go. It's the one thing I wish I would have discovered before, but providing for family outweighs that desire now.
All right, what's the most valuable tool in a lineman's kit?
The radio.
Good call.
Well, not the tunes are great to have, but that communication for when shit goes awry, at least in my situation, where you're out remote, communication is your lifeline.
100%. And that's one thing I learned from Jocko, actually, was like, make sure you're staying cool, calm, and collected on the radio, even if shit's going awry. Just try to, be clear, concise, to the point, keep it short. Try. Anyway.
And that goes for any kind of, really any communication on the radio, transmission work, especially, when your radios are literally part of the toolkit. We don't need your life story. Just give us the information, clear the channel. But like, we're in the middle of a wire pull, or we're setting poles or tower tops, helicopters, like, just give us the information we need. let's move on.
Favorite part about being a lineman is
the opportunities that it creates for other endeavors.
Cool.
Aside from everything that we talked about with this podcast, but if you want it to be, it can be your gateway to do anything.
If you could change one thing about the industry, what would it be?
Lack of accountability on all fronts. We as workers need to be held accountable to do an honest day's work, and management needs to be held accountable to provide us with opportunity to succeed. But oftentimes when things go awry, that the lowest man on the totem pole can be left holding the bag. I don't want to get into a whole philosophy discussion of that, but I believe that accountability, we need to reinstill accountability.
Best piece of advice I ever received as a lineman is what?
As a lineman?
Yeah. Or in general, go ahead.
Get at it. As a lineman, best piece of advice, not necessarily pertaining to the trade, what I mentioned right off the bat, get your debt taken care of.
Yeah.
Get your debt taken care of where you can your mind is operating in where that is not affecting your decision making, and you can really truly set yourself up to make good decisions for yourself. Biggest and best advice is you have a job. If you're out here in California, lots of us have the opportunity to have $300,000 years plus. There's no reason any of us should be living paycheck to paycheck. Handle your debt, set yourself up for things to be good for you and your family. Invest that money for your kids when they're little. You won't be having to pay for them to go to line school or whatever it is, but you can really do yourself a lot of favors with just when those $6,000-$7,000 checks are rolling in. Man, it's a lot more fun to put it in the savings account than give it to Chase Bank or whoever. I think that's probably the biggest thing you can do for yourself. I was out here with 6 figures worth of debt, done it twice, and I've gotten out of it twice as a result of just the trade and apprenticeship. I was going through a rough time when I was a second step, and I had a GF pull me aside. We went for a ride in the truck. What's going on? And it was girl problems and all this stuff that you have 20 years old, 21 years old. He said, well, as somebody that's been divorced twice, let me tell you something. Take care of this trade and it'll take care of you. And that journeyman ticket, that will be the only thing that she can't take from you. Yeah. So she can take all your stuff and you can go make more money and you'll get other stuff. But right now, take care of the trade and it'll take care of you.
All right. If you're liking this content lately, please make sure you like, subscribe, follow, do all those things. It really helps the algorithm, helps get this pushed out to more people. And I appreciate it. Peace.